أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين. I begin in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Today we are gathered here today to recollect a tragedy that took the life of 49 people in a place of worship as they were prostrating toward their Creator. And in the last 3 years that I have been a part of NYU's Islamic Center, I probably stood on this podium close to a dozen times, recollecting tragedy after tragedy, and every day we promise that we'll never have to gather together for one of these again if we put forth all of our efforts in emanating that light and that justice and that mercy and that compassion that this world so desperately needs. But the reality is such that darkness is really dark, and that the pain and the agony and the frustration and the anger and the disappointment that many of us have been feeling over the last 18 or 24 hours is real. And the reality is such that most likely, unfortunately, the world is such that we're going to be gathered together on a staircase like this one a few months from now. But to know that at the end of the day, within ourselves as individuals, and within every single one of us as a community, we have an opportunity and we have a potential to make a real difference again in this world that so desperately needs it. So in spite of the pain and in spite of the frustration and in spite of the agony, let's transform those negative connotated qualities to that of love, and to that of mercy, and to that of beauty, and to that of justice, and that of striving for a better tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be tomorrow, and the day after that is going to be the day after that. But 5 years from now and 10 years from now, when my children and your children, they grow up, they won't have to look at white supremacy into the eyes every single day when they go to school, when they're at the workplace, when they're flipping through the TV, or when they're on social media. That we have an opportunity to be a people who make a difference. So I thank you all for coming out here today to pray with us, and to reflect with us, and to contemplate with us, and to weep with us, and to grieve with us, and to meditate with us. But know that with your presence, and I speak to myself before I speak to anyone else, comes a responsibility. That we are going to take what we learn and what we hear and what we reflect upon in the next few minutes as a means for an inspiration and a change of our hearts and our souls, so again we can go out and be that hope and that beauty and that mercy and that compassion and that love and that justice and that light, in spite of all of the darkness that we have surrounding us. We have a whole host of different resources, community leaders, students who are here to share their words and their thoughts and their reflections with us for the next half an hour or so. So please be attentive and allow for yourself not only physically to be in a state whereby you are present, but also allow for your heart and your soul and your spiritual dimension to really open up toward the words and the thoughts and the reflections that we are going to be hearing. Thank you all again so much for coming out.